Dear teacher colleague, welcome once again to this YouTube channel called Keep on Learning Online Class. And don't forget to subscribe, to like and give comments so that we can improve our teaching and learning practice. Teacher Nirenganya Emmanuel, a teacher of geography. And today we have a topic in climate. We are still on weather and climate as a topic or a part of geography paper 1, which is physical geography. Today's topic, the content we are going to discuss about this topic of weather and climate is going to be covered by the following questions, from question number 1 up to question number 5. Remember, last time when we were talking about this topic, weather and climate, we discussed about different things that are found in this topic of weather and climate. But our intention of today, we are going to be focused on the following question. So without losing or without spending a lot of time, let's first remind ourselves what we discussed previously. We talked about, remember we talked about different layers of the atmosphere, where we talked about troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere. And we talked about change in temperature in all those layers, where we have said that in the troposphere, temperature decreases with an increase in altitude, while in the stratosphere, temperature increases with an increase in altitude. It is different from troposphere. And we also talked about mesosphere, where temperature also decreases with an increase in altitude, the same as that of troposphere. And we end up by thermosphere, where temperature decreases, temperature increases with an increase in altitude. It is the same as that of stratosphere. Without losing a lot of time, so our intention of today is about the following questions. Let's start by question number 1. Give 5 reasons to explain why temperature decreases with an increase in altitude within the troposphere. As we discussed previously, we have said that in the troposphere, temperature decreases with an increase in altitude. And we are going here to focus on the reasons why that temperature decreases with an increase in altitude within the troposphere. Why temperature decreases or reduces with an increase in altitude within the troposphere. So we are going to explain different reasons why temperature decreases with an increase in altitude within the troposphere. Let's start by point number 1. Number 1, influence of terrestrial radiation. Influence of terrestrial radiation. Influence of terrestrial radiation. We are going to see how terrestrial radiation can lead to the decrease in temperature as you go upwards within the troposphere. Let's start by drawing. This is the sun. This is the sun. When sun sun's rays will reach on the surface of the earth. This is the earth's surface. When sun rays, this will cause the surface of the earth to be heated, meaning that this surface of the earth will get high temperature. It means when this surface of the earth gets high temperature, and when you move from down upward, you are leaving the heat, you are leaving the high temperature, going to the low temperature. It means the temperature decreases as a result of those terrestrial radiation. When you talk of terrestrial radiation, those are sun energy that is emitted from the earth's surface. meaning that this area is heated due to sun rays, and when you move upwards, this place has high temperature, while this place has low temperature. That is horizon number 1. Horizon number 2, human activities. We are going to see how human activities can influence this decrease in the temperature as a result of increase in altitude. The human activities we have industrialization. We are talking about industrialization, urbanization. The urbanized and the industrialized area is experienced with high temperature, meaning that those areas, suppose that this is the surface of the earth, and you have the industries. You have the industries, and you have urbanization. We have urbanization. And this place, which is industrialized and urbanized, it is associated with overpopulation. This place is overpopulated. If this place becomes overpopulated, this will cause this place to have highest temperature. The temperature will increase in this place, meaning that when you start leaving this place, upwards, you are escaping high temperature, meaning that the temperature started decreasing when you go upwards, or when the altitude is increasing upwards. That is how those human activities can lead to the increase in the temperature on the earth's surface than upwards. Next, influence of cloud cover. Influence of cloud cover. Just under the cover can decrease or can reduce the temperature within the troposphere. It means that if suppose that, and this is a sunlight, and you have cloud here. When sun rays, this cloud will cause the atmosphere to lose its highest temperature because of what? Because this cloud is absorbing the sun heat. And the sun rays that reach on the surface of the earth will cause this surface of the earth to be heated than this area that is covered by cloud cover. Meaning that cloud cover absorbs all heat within the atmosphere, and because of that, that's why when you go up, the temperature starts decreasing as a result of absorption of sun rays or heat by the cloud cover. Next, influence of snow that covers the top of hills. Meaning that the top of hills are covered by the snow and ice, and because of that, these areas make the top of the hill to be cold, meaning that the top of hills has low temperature. That's why when you move from the valley going upwards of the mountain, you will experience with the coldness. It means temperature will decrease with an increase in altitude. Places of water water vapor in the atmosphere. This water atmosphere always absorb the sun heat. It absorbs the heat. And that's why the surface of the earth is always hot. Why? Because there is no water vapor that will absorb that heat. Therefore, the surface of the earth will always be heated. Always heated than when you go upwards. That's why the water vapor absorb heat, and we have high temperature and low as you go upwards. Next, distance from Earth's core. Distance from Earth's core. Just like you know, when you talk of core, is one of the layers of the internal structure of the Earth. Remember, the previous topic we discussed about different layers of the internal structure of the Earth, where we have seen that the Earth is divided into 3 main layers, where we discussed about crust, mantle, and core. Remember, we have said that the core is one of the layers of the internal structure of the Earth that has the highest temperature. Meaning that we are going to see how distance from Earth's core can influence the increase in temperature downward, from downward or on the surface of the Earth, rather than in the atmosphere going upwards within the troposphere. Suppose that this is Earth's surface. Here we have core, and in the core it is where we have the highest temperature. Meaning that this high temperature within the core can influence this surface of the Earth to be heated, rather than going upwards. It means the troposphere, as you know, troposphere starts from the ground going upwards in 18 kilometers, especially in equatorial regions, and 8 kilometers in polar region. Meaning that if this temperature influences the surface of the Earth to be heated, rather than going upwards within the troposphere, that's why temperature decreases as you move upwards within the troposphere. That's how the distance from Earth's core can lead to the temperature change from the surface of the Earth going upwards. Next, the impurities. Impurities like dust. This can absorb heat within the atmosphere. So meaning that those impurities like dust, when they go in the atmosphere, they can absorb the heat within the atmosphere. And when heat within the atmosphere is reduced, therefore this will eventually lead to the lowest temperature. And that's why when you move from the surface of the Earth going upwards within the atmosphere where those impurities like dust are found, so those dust will absorb heat, and when those heat is absorbed, this can eventually lead to the low temperature. While on the surface of the Earth, temperature is high. We have high temperature on the surface of the Earth. That's why we say temperature decrease. Temperature decrease going upwards. Temperature decrease going upwards within the troposphere. 2. State any 4 factors to be taken into account when setting up the weather station. We are going to see different factors that can be taken into account if you want to set or if you want to establish a weather station in a given place. So, but before talking about those factors, I would like to remind you what weather station it is. Question number 2, weather station. Yes. Where all elements of weather are observed, measured, and recorded. Meaning that when you talk of weather station, it's a place where we can find all those elements of weather, and in that place, all those elements of weather are measured and recorded. And we are going to see what can be referred on so that you can establish, so that you can set a weather station in a given place. So those are factors to be taken into account when establishing a weather station. So let's look at those factors. Number 1, the site should be free, or it should be far away from buildings, trees, or any other tall structure. The reason why this site should be far away from building is because it can be difficult to measure those elements of weather because of those buildings and tall structure and even trees as well. For example, if you want to measure rainfall, when your weather station is covered by trees, you cannot be able to know the amount of rainfall that is received in that place. You cannot even be able to measure the direction and speed of wind whether your weather station is found in a place where there are houses and even trees and even other tall structure. Factor number 2, the site should be free from floods. The site should be free from floods. Meaning that if you want to establish a weather station in a given place, make sure that that place is not affected by floods. Why? Because when floods occur in that place, there will be damage or destruction of those instruments which are used to measure all those elements of weather. Otherwise, you have to consider that site should be free from floods. Number 3, the sites should be fair, gentle, sloping. Meaning that if you want to establish a weather station in a given place, make sure that you see the kind of relief which are found in that place. So the relief must be fairly gentle sloping, because when relief is fairly gentle sloping, it's very easy to measure all those elements of weather. For example, like winds, you can be able to measure winds easily, and this can allow free movements of air in that place rather than establishing it in an area of steep slope. Next, the site should be should have security. Security is important because if you establish or you set a weather station in an area where there is no security, you will not be sure that those instruments will not be stolen or will not be destroyed anyhow. Otherwise, if you want to set up, if you want to establish a weather station in a certain place, make sure that you know that that place have security. Next, the site should be in open space. If you want to establish a weather station in a given area, make sure that the site is in an open place, so that when it is in an open space, this will allow the free movements of air. The air will move without having any obstacle. Therefore, those are that one can take into consideration while setting up the weather station in a given place. What is school weather station we have to the runners? This question requires to give the importance of school weather station to the runners, and school weather station play a very big role or an importance to the runners. Importance of school weather station to runners. Number one, it helps runners and school administrators helps runners and school administrators to save money and time. Meaning doesn't have a weather station, there will be need of a field study or field trip. When learners plan for a field trip, they will spend a lot of money for transport and even restoration. And in the same case, losing the time. If a weather station is very far, when they come along a distance while visiting a weather station, therefore money and time will be spent. Therefore, if you have school weather station, it will help us, or it will help runners to save time and money. It helps runners to know weather of their school environment. Meaning that if we have a school weather station, learners are able to observe, measure, and record all elements of weather around the school. This will enable them to know weather or atmospheric conditions of their school environment. Therefore, it is very important. It helps learners to develop their career development. Meaning that some students or some of the runners will develop their career development. For example, because of having this school weather station, due to manipulation or using of those weather instruments. Some runners will choose to be meteorologists, or will choose to work at weather station or to work at meteorology station, so that they will also be dealing with those elements of weather. Therefore, it is very important. Next, it enables or it helps learners to acquire skills. Learners to acquire skills. Learners will get from this school weather station, where learners will know how to measure and record by using all instruments which are used to measure the elements of weather. Next, it helps runners to put into practice what they learn in the class, meaning that weather station is considered, it acts as a laboratory. It acts as a laboratory for geography subject. Meaning that if we have a school weather station, runners are able to study geography by visiting their laboratory as school weather station. Thank you. What are the main features of Stevenson sunscreen? We are going to see the features. Features are like characteristics. Features are characteristics. We are going to see the main features of Stevenson sunscreen. What is Stevenson sunscreen? When you talk of Stevenson sunscreen, is a white wooden box which is mounted on the forex at weather station. This is a Stevenson sunscreen, and you are looking at how it looks like. A Stevenson sunscreen, we are going to see that it is painted of white color so that it can reflect sun rays from not reaching inside of the Stevenson sunscreen. We are also going to see that it is made of wood, as it is said above in the definition, and the foreheads, we are looking at where it stands. This is a leg number 1, leg number 2, number 3, and number 4. Therefore, that is what we call a Stevenson sunscreen. It's a white wooden box which is at weather station. And instruments kept in a Stevenson sunscreen. What weather instruments that are kept in Stevenson sunscreen? For example, have thermometer and hygrometer. So the reasons why those instruments are kept in Stevenson sunscreen, it's because most of them are delicate. They can be damaged, they can be destroyed easily if they are exposed to the outside, if they are not inside of this Stevenson sunscreen. Characteristics of Stevenson sunscreen. We are going to see characteristics of Stevenson sunscreen, or features. Characteristics are like features of Stevenson sunscreen. Characteristic number 1, it is made of wood. Meaning that Stephen sunscreen it's made of wood because it is a poor or a bad conductor of heat. Number 2, it is painted white color. This Stephen sunscreen is painted white color so that it can reflect sunlight and so that it can prevent excess heat from the sun reaching inside of the Stevenson sunscreen. Next, is mounted on forex. Next, it cannot be affected by any external. Another characteristic of Stevenson sunscreen, it is placed on the grass covered ground. The reason why it is placed on the grass covered ground is to prevent radiated heat from the influencing temperature inside the Stephen sunscreen. Next, be far from buildings or trees or trees. So also be free from buildings and even trees as well. We are going to explain why Stephen sunscreen is painted white color. Is painted reasons why Stephen sunscreen is painted white color. Painted white color. Stephen sunscreen is painted white color because of the following reasons. Number 1, to reflect sunlight. It means Stevenson sunscreen is painted white color so that that white color can reflect sunlight from reaching the inside of Stevenson sunscreen. Next, to prevent excess heat. Meaning that if Stevenson sunscreen is not white painted color, the excess heat will reach or enter in this Stevenson sunscreen. The reason why it is painted white color, it is because they want to prevent excess heat reaching inside of Stevenson sunscreen. Thank you very much for this class of today, where we discussed about different contents that are found in the topic, weather and climate, where we discussed about different contents in the earth and the factors to be taken into account when setting up a weather station, the importance of school weather station, and characteristics of Stevenson sunscreen, and even reasons why Stephen sunscreen is painted in the white color. Those are very important contents that every learner must cover so that it can help him or her pass exam. So, and I would like to invite you to subscribe, to like, and give comments on this Keep on Running online class, where different subjects are offered on this YouTube channel, so that you will be able to revise your contents studied in the classroom or in the face-to-face teacher class, and this will help you to run everywhere you are. whether you are at home, whether you are in the way while walking, whether you are sleeping. You can even watch the move of geography on this, keep on learning online class, so that you will improve your performance in the class or in national exam. Have a nice time.